Hello, this is Cute Fuzzy Weasel,
Nasu Man.
And the repair guy.
and we just fulfilled our obligation to see Robocop 2014. Now, before we do anything, on a scale of 1 to 10, starting off with Nasu Man here, we're going to go around and say what we would rate it on. Nasu Man, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being Avatar: The Last
This as a
Airbender.
standalone movie, or as compared to the original?
Every time I watch a movie, I treat it as that movie alone.
Then let's do this as a standalone movie.
Okay.
Just as a standalone movie, Nasu Man, 1 to 10.
Okay, with 1 being the absolute worst, right?
With 1 being The Last Airbender and 10 being whatever movie you consider good.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever movie he considers
I'm going to be giving it a very sober 7.
A sober 7. That's a theoretical number, not a real number.
It's a 7. It's above average. And it gets just pushed a little bit further, just due to certain thematic elements that I thought were pretty good. But it does have its fault. It does have its shortcomings, which keep it from becoming a really a movie that will be remembered almost as well as the original. So.
Okay, all right.
So that's my stance on it.
Repair guy, what do you rate it? 1 out of 10.
I've got to give it a 6.5. Because I can find fault with it, but it's still a strong film.
Right.
I would give it a 5.5 or a 6. Kind of average with a few major flaws, but as far as action movie goes, it's not unwatchable. It's not terrible. It's not bad.
The irony being, the action scenes are hard to watch.
The action scenes make you nauseous. Actually, no, the sex scene made me the most nauseous.
Yeah, that felt like just the lack of soundtrack. It was just felt really voyeuristic.
Yeah,
and the camera had to do this, like the camera guy was trying to touch himself while he was doing it.
Can we be sure he wasn't?
I hope so. I hope he wasn't.
Well, he just followed the actors home, and he under no direction, and did that.
Anyone else a little disappointed Peter Weller didn't make a cameo?
Yeah, I actually was expecting him to at least show up once, though. Peter Weller's worked very hard to kind of...
Peter Weller as a captain?
Yeah, I was expecting something like that, but then again, Peter Weller's kind of did a lot to distance himself from that role.
Which is a damn shame, because it's the best role I've seen him in.
Oh, it was probably the most uncomfortable for him, too.
Buckaroo Banzai, I think, was one of his best roles.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You should... It's worth watching. It's funny. It's really funny.
For those of you who can't hear, he said Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah,
Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
Buckato Banzai.
It's a fun little movie. If you've heard of it, good.
Goodbye, you're going to give me a...
Have you not? How come you haven't seen Buckaroo Banzai? Have you seen it, Noah? Or Weasel?
They already know my name.
Okay, have you
Yeah,
seen
they saw the
Buckaroo
credits.
Parts of it. I've seen parts of it.
It's got Jonathan Lithgow as Dr. Lizardo.
What are you doing?
Stop hitting things.
I'm marking. It's my tree now.
Great.
He found a stick.
It is my stick.
It was a rare find in such a barren
Wasteland such as this.
Yeah.
I have no idea where he found wood at all.
Oh
here.
no,
Right
not
there.
at all. But back to the movie at hand. Peter Weller's cameo was missed. I think the movie.
Well, everyone's harping on it. I've yet to see a review where someone isn't like trying to say a whole bunch of negative things about it. So let's talk about what we liked about the film first. What did we like? Try and make this positive.
Okay, well,
The visual of RoboCop without the suit was cool.
I thought it was the funniest damn thing I've seen in a long time.
It was funny as fuck. I mean, you cracked up.
And you know why it was so funny? It was because his hand was out there and he looked like a Stretch Armstrong that had been torn in half.
Okay, now here's the part about that I really don't understand.
okay, and
How did they get blood to the hand?
Tube-ish.
Tubes.
Something.
Well, no, the hand was Wi-Fi. That was a plastic cap on it.
Maybe it,
I remember hearing a theory that the hand wasn't real, that it was just supposed to look real, that it was to make him think that there was more of him left.
Then why
do it?
Well, some spoilers if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
But this is just a world thing, and it's addressed very early on. There is a law in the movie called the Dreyfus Act, and the Dreyfus Act says that robots can't be law enforcement. They can't be a part of.
Robots cannot operate on United States soil.
Oh, and if any of you are wondering, the smoke coming into the lens right now, we have a fire behind the camera.
That is going to kill us all eventually.
No, that's our cameraman smoking pot.
You're not
wish
that
I
cool.
had a cameraman, and I
You
wish
do have
he
a
had
cameraman.
pots.
I'm
And
not
an
allowed to
editor.
touch the cameras. What do you?
He
What?
doesn't touch my very expensive camera.
What do you think I am?
A cameraman?
Slightly useful.
I have my other uses. I'm free
He's-
labor.
He's a relief editor.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a law that says the Dreyfus Act, and the Dreyfus Act says that you can't have a robot operating on U.S. soil for law enforcement or for military actions. And the way they try to circumvent it is they say, okay, well, if we can't have a robot acting as a cop, why don't we have essentially a cyborg, a human inside of a robot, acting as a cop, and Robocop is Alex Murphy is the prototype of all of this. He is the way that they test this and sell this product. And there was a theory that the reason the hand's visible, well, I mean, it's not even, obviously the reason the hand's visible is to more drive the home that it's not just a fake, it's not just a face, it's not just there's more human than just being all robot. And there's a theory that the robot hand wasn't actually his. I mean, the human hand wasn't actually his hand. It was a synthetic hand. It was made to look real and act real.
The issue I take with that,
For Alex to think that there was more of
the
him.
issue I take with that is that it's not established that technology exists. In fact, it's established that it doesn't.
Yeah, the prosthetic. Yeah,
The prosthetic slab kind of kills that theory.
Well, yes.
Hi,
yes.
Jesse.
Oh, this is Jesse.
Jesse didn't see the movie, but he likes sniff.
Yes, he does.
Jesse.
Yes. He's the fella involved with interrupting every episode of 3 Random Facts.
He's the dog who's involved with interrupting everything that I filmed downstairs because he walks around upstairs and he makes a lot of tapping noises.
Because he's got long claws and he doesn't know what to do with himself, so he just barks all the time.
Jesse's 17.
Yes, he is.
Jesse's older than some of your viewers.
Yes, he is. But he ain't just
Jesse's older than all of the Trolls viewers.
But the thing about
I guess he's just here now.
Jesse just got, he's not going to say much, but we appreciate his input nonetheless.
If he farts, I'm out of here.
Great, because I mean he'll just be our third.
He won't be able. I mean,
It'd just be dust.
Anyway,
a cloud
so
of dust.
I've lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
about the
Dreyfus Act.
the stupid hand.
I don't think the hand's that stupid.
I think the hand is absolutely ridiculous and retarded and stupid.
I don't like that they did it.
I don't like
It
the
did
hand.
not need to be there, and it was. I think it was just there for the shock value of, oh, there's no arm there.
One thing that me and Weasel talked about last night is there's a scene where he has to lose an arm,
He has to lose an arm.
and it would have probably been more.
I mean, I would have.
It would have been more impactful had it been the human arm.
I would
Yes.
have understood the hand better if he had to shoot his own arm off. Plus, if there was a tube of blood going to it, he would have started bleeding out. It would have upped the stakes. Maybe I would have cared. That was my big problem with the movie. I didn't care about anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't care about Alex Murphy. I didn't care about his family.
Alex Murphy kind of comes off as a bit of a douche, actually.
He always did, in my opinion. He's always kind of come.
Peter
across.
Weller's Murphy did not come across as a douche. He just came across as a distant father.
I think he came across as a douche, but not because
He was an 80s dad.
I didn't mean I disliked him. I like Alex Murphy. I can empathize with him.
He's walking. Oh, that's cute. Anyway,
I
yes.
can empathize with Alex Murphy in this movie. I care about him, but I don't care enough for me to enjoy his triumph. And that's a big problem with this movie is that In the original RoboCop,
Hi, Jesse.
we
Hey,
see
Jesse.
we see Alex Murphy get crucified, just straight up crucified. Even the director has stated
He gets gun mangled.
yeah, like they blow off his hand, they
Blow off if they shoot him in the head.
yeah, and then they just load him up with all this gunfire, and it's to show how how much damage is done to him. And you're thinking to yourself, he's not coming back from this. Of course we know.
Unless you've seen the trailers for the movie, you're seeing.
Well,
at
if
that point.
we know, we all know.
If you have any idea where you are at that moment,
If you have any idea that you're watching a movie and not just a 15-minute weird video where some guy gets horribly murdered.
but like I'm talking about I understand.
If they had shot Alex, if in the original movie they had just gun mangled him and then the credits started rolling.
This is the worst RoboCop movie ever. There's
This is a
cop,
snuff
but
film.
But
where's
no,
the robots? Why did ED-209 have to be there?
because
Because it's RoboCop.
it's RoboCop. Yeah, it's also why the ED-208s had to be there.
It's RoboCop.
Yeah,
ED-209 was in the original, so
Yeah.
he has to be there in this one.
and it was fine. It worked. It
No, I
made
think
sense.
the ED-208s were there just so that they could mangle something and not
have it
have to
not-
give it an R rating.
And not
yeah.
have it give blood or anything. That was one of the major. I thought that was one of the big flaws of this movie.
They should not have gone PG-13.
PG-13 took away a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of those things that it took away was us. It was us hating the bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the bad guys in the movie are bad guys.
It's just this guy's bad because we said so.
Yeah, it's because the movie is telling us that he's bad. Valen is the criminal is this criminal underlord guy, and he is a criminal. He runs a gun smuggling operation.
He runs a criminal enterprise.
Yeah.
All criminals everywhere.
He's a big bad criminal guy, but we don't ever see him practically. We don't see him doing criminal.
You know what's more
things.
insulting than that?
What?
That we don't get the satisfaction of a good death scene.
Yeah, I brought that up. No one dies horribly. They
Yeah,
all
and
just get
that's-
shot.
And it's also because
They'll get shot slightly out of frame.
And this goes to the point of how in RoboCop there's this, even though you don't really want to be Alex Murphy about the man trapped in the robot, there's a sort of power fantasy that comes with it.
Yeah. There's definitely that power fantasy of putting them down.
You got this big, you're this big invincible robot guy. You've got this badass guns. You can kick all the ass in the world, right?
Unless
but-
they've got a 50 caliber machine gun.
Even then, he still kicked.
Which
all.
are apparently just horribly, horribly abundant now.
well,
and very, very much ineffective.
the thing about
He gets shot 50
Yeah, like,
times.
they shot him in both arm joints, and those arms continued to function
They
perfectly.
blew whole sections of his back off and everything. They blew his visor off, and he's still
but his
like,
face isn't scratched.
yeah. Well, you can't blood.
they couldn't have shown that much blood, even though
I mean, they show a little blood.
They show some blood on the black guy when he gets shot.
the thing about
It's
it.
okay to show blood on him. I mean, he's lucky he just made it through
A
this
quick
movie.
side
Oh
note
yeah,
here.
he made it.
Did we really need this scene where now you're the right color? That was racist as fuck.
That's Detroit.
That was racist as fuck.
Detroit.
Okay, now here, something that Ian pointed out.
Yeah.
What if it'd been the reverse? What if it was a black cop in a silver suit, and they said, now you're the right color?
Well, then it would have been probably.
Then Jesse Jackson would have been on TV that night. Okay?
It's. I think it was a. That's one of those throwaway lines that I don't think they put a lot of thought into, honestly.
They probably didn't put a
It
whole
didn't
lot of
need to
thought.
be
Hey,
there.
Jesse, no.
Get away from the hot dogs, Jesse.
No. Okay, get away from the fire, too. No.
Please don't make yourself kindling.
No, don't touch the gun. No. Okay, no, not the collection of Ginzu knives. No, not the fireworks.
Now
Jesse.
he's in the electrified river.
Jesse, how come you spilled all the acid away? Well,
This is gonna be the worst trip ever.
He's here for sniff.
He is here.
He's in for a trip, is what he's in for.
What are you doing?
And the thing is because since we don't get to see the bad guys,
Be bad.
yeah, when they die, there's
There's no satisfaction in it.
I think you illustrated it.
I illustrated it as when one of the bad guys die, it's like, good for you.
It's like you heard. It's like if a friend from college. You hear about a friend from high school. Maybe he's like a dentist now, and you're like, oh, that's good for him. And that's the amount of of catharsis you get from this movie. Is like he makes it. He beats the bad guy.
What about when Clarence Boddicker dies, man?
When he gets stabbed through the neck.
Yeah,
that was fucking satisfying.
Or when the guy gets the toxic stuff spilled on him.
Or when he shoots the guy through the window, and then the OCP guy goes. The OCP guy goes, "Good shooting, son. What's your name?"
And then he says Murphy.
Yeah, like there's this
like there's some kind of character arc, and maybe I care even slightly about Alex Murphy instead of just wondering why this bad actor is walking around.
I think that's a little unfair. He wasn't a bad actor. It was just a bad writing.
I think he was a bad Robocop.
The kid was bad.
Oh well, the kid
was bad.
The kid was awful.
The kid just sat there and he stared at the camera the whole time.
Well, yeah, because it's hard for one thing, it's hard finding good child actors.
They had plenty of money.
They could have used a puppet and got better results.
He could have been the puppet.
Just could have been fucking Elmo, just kind of like...
Elmo would have been more believable.
I taped all the Robbins games for you.
How about this? You remember the scene where Murphy recreates his own murder scene?
Yes.
Why the fuck was this kid looking directly at where Robocop was standing?
And was it...
Instead of his blown-up father or the burning car.
And was it just me, or
that would have been him literally gazing at, like, concrete on the driveway.
What was his reaction totally not characterized by what the little readout said?
Extreme fear,
Extreme terror, fear, shock, agony, and his expression is...
Did Dad just blow up?
It's more like, oh no, I'm going to have to clean that up tomorrow morning. It's more of like...
I'm not shoveling that.
Yeah, it's,
Daddy, go boom.
I don't think...
Santa, bye-bye.
I don't think the actor was a bad actor. I think he does great if he didn't have to shift between...
Now, the not Scarlett Johansson character?
The who?
The not Scarlett Johansson, his wife?
Oh, Clara?
Yeah, okay. Am I the only one that thought they really wanted Scarlett Johansson, but she was busy with the Winter Soldier?
No, I think they casted her pretty well, actually.
I did not like her.
She had no character. She was just boobs with hair.
No,
she was sad boobs with hair.
She occasionally cried and yelled.
I think she was actually cast.
And
pretty
then they had awkward bumping against each other's sex.
They had PG-13 grinding.
Yeah.
They kissed and they went. Ugh, ugh,
yeah, the sound was
the sound of not sex.
Yeah.
Not sex.
But the thing is
the
that
sound of virginity being
just like regressed toward, like everyone's hymen started just to like reform.
Robocop grew a hymen for some reason.
Just like, But no, I think he was fine. If he wasn't Robocop, if he didn't have to also be Robocop, because the thing about Peter Sellers is Peter Sellers was capable of just becoming a blank slate. Like, that's one of the beauties of his performance in RoboCop was just he could just...
Okay, well, it would have helped if he hadn't been just a blank slate the whole time.
Well, and see, they justified that with the script, which was wrong. Like, pretty much the entirety of RoboCop on screen in the movie is him as this zombie.
As the zombie guy with low dopamine levels.
A 2% dopamine load, which turns him into a zombie.
Which it technically would do.
But then his brain suddenly circumvents all the electronic circuitry in his brain.
Yeah.
And then his dopamine
the soul. His soul circumvents...
The soul was lazy writing.
The soul circumvents
been the case, though.
That was lazy writing.
That's always... That was in the first RoboCop.
Why not have the doctor in a fit of just...
Consciousness?
In a fit of conscience... cutting off the dopamine blockers.
Because that would require him making good decisions, which this whole movie...
Oh, man. When he first shows RoboCop, when he wakes up...
He's like, oh, he does one good thing. He does this, the first thing he does that's smart, and probably the only smart thing he does is, he immediately addresses that his family is okay.
That's the and then he
And
said,
from there on out, it's just a...
and
Let him go.
let him walk around. Let's show him the new body.
No,
What
let's
happened?
cut him off so he can fall face down into the rice paddy.
I don't remember what happened. Oh my God, what did I do? I feel everything. Oh, that's phantom limb syndrome. It happens with amputees. What? And I told Nasi Man when we were talking about it last night. It would have been so funny and so wrong if instead of doing that, they had showed him like if he had woken up and immediately been his lungs. And, and he'd be like, "What happened? Where's my family? Oh, don't worry, they're coming." And he's like, "Well, what happened to me?" And then the door opens, and the wife is like, "Oh God!" And the kid's like, "Oh God, no!"
And he still doesn't know what's
And he
wrong.
says, "Like, why are they screaming at me?" And he said, "The doctor
Then
goes."
the floor mirror comes up.
The doctor goes, "They're screaming at you because of this." Oh God, what happened to me?
Is it just me, or was that floor mirror there strictly for sadistic pleasure?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
the giant mirror that is only there to show him how disfigured he is.
This is what you look like. We have to show you this.
Well, okay,
This is everything that's left of you.
for therapy, therapy for amputees, that's important, is seeing what's left of you.
So that
He's not an amputee anymore.
he's not-
He's lungs in a jar.
he's lungs and a heart in a jar with a brain and a goofy hand sticking off to the side.
Well, yeah, but it's still important for people to see what's left of them.
He doesn't have a penis.
It's a part of the
He
coping mechanism.
He could have asked.
He could have.
He could have at least asked.
before. It
Do
was
you
a big
want to
show.
see yourself?
And immediately the guy's
Well, no,
like, "Oh."
remember, he goes. No, what he says, "Show me." That's what he says. He says, "Show me what's left." As in.
No. The guy says, "Okay, I'm going to show you." Alex does not say a damn thing.
I thought he said, "Show me."
No, the guy
No,
just says,
that
"I'm
was
gonna,
basically him saying you're not human. Here's why.
here's what's wrong with you." Ah!
I mean, I don't think
Kill me, oh God, kill me.
Well, no.
And what am I gonna tell your wife? Tell him I died.
We're gonna tell her we're gonna tell her exactly what we tell her later. He died.
We're gonna tell her we tried.
Except she signed these papers. Ah, honey, why? Oh God.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, it'd have been funnier if, as soon as he sees his wife, he slaps her, says, "How could you do this to me?"
What did you do? And in slapping her, he rips
Rips
her
her face.
jaw off and
now she has to have a robot jaw.
splatters her
I want-
against a wall.
I have a minor complaint here, and I know it's just for flavor. Really, is why they did it.
Okay, what was
Jesse, what are you doing?
The ED208s, right?
it? Yeah,
Very lightweight,
right,
still combat effective,
Right.
still armored.
right.
Why does RoboCop have to weigh like 900 pounds?
Because
and sound
RoboCop
like
has
a
to weigh.
tank?
RoboCop has to be built like a tank.
Except he's not.
Except he is. RoboCop is built like a tank in the original TV series.
Jeremy, I've
In the
seen
original
it.
movie.
And
And the
Jeremy,
TV series, but the movie.
we're coming from the same background here on this one. I know what it is.
He's built like a tank. He literally has anchors in his feet designed for him to withstand huge explosions.
Except it doesn't work in that.
Except it does. It
He
works
is,
all
he
the
is
time
the
in that.
noisiest cop. Every single movement is like.
He's the least stealthy cop in history. Right
he
down
need
to the
to be?
fact that he's got the glowing red eye
Does
in
he
the
need
dark.
The growing
to be
lead
stealthy?
Cylon eye.
Yeah.
Does he need to be stealthy though?
It might help just a little
No,
bit.
it doesn't matter.
Just slightly.
RoboCop comes in, says "fuck you" on RoboCop, and shoots everybody.
No, he says, "Fuck you, I motorcycle RoboCop."
Oh, okay, hold on. Did
The
anyone notice?
motorcycle had more of a character than RoboCop did.
Did you see that the motorcycle had little angry eyes?
My point exactly. The motorcycle had more character than RoboCop.
Well, Peter Zeller's the character killed the motorcycle's wife. That's in a deleted scene.
Yes. The Robobike had to get revenge for his.
You son of a bitch!
It reminds me of.
You killed my training wheels.
I asked originally what were things that we liked about the movie.
I like the.
I think we covered that.
Well,
Okay, I liked the opening. I thought it opened up really, really strong
Yeah, it did.
with Tehran and all that.
Yeah.
I thought
That scene was actually good.
if they had followed through with that and made RoboCop more of a commentary on
On drone warfare?
and
Instead of
less as a heavy-handed.
human spirit deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that the one scene, and it's the one part of that scene that really struck me and wasn't really the point of that scene for the audience,
Yeah.
was the voluntary, non-invasive searches.
Yeah.
The ones where they had to exit their homes with their hands raised
Right.
to be full body scanned by the TSA bots.
Right.
And that was just glossed over.
That was really kind
That was a fantastic scene because they didn't make a big deal out of it.
yeah, because that's the point.
And if they had followed through,
I was more concerned about that part than the fact that they shot the kid with the knife.
What I feel that okay, spoiler alert.
well, we already said spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure.
No, Jesse, no,
Jesse.
no, Jesse.
I think something that I can definitely see and I can see this movie getting a sequel.
They set it up for one. I mean, you saw that he had the badge on his
Yeah, and
armor.
I can. Oh, okay. Well, I'll say this from things I liked.
The armor wasn't as bad as I expected.
I liked how it looked. I liked how
I
RoboCop
gave
looked.
the armor a pass. I mean,
Yeah, the armor was cool.
people ridicule it for looking like Batman armor, but let's be honest,
It's effective armor.
you can't spray paint body armor black and not have it look like Batman armor now.
Yeah, after Batman Begins with
And that all looks like big Batman armor now.
Yeah,
if it's spray painted black.
yeah. So I actually liked it. I liked how it looked. I do like the fact that they had multiple versions of the armor. I like the one.
The Transformer armor.
The one where I actually thought that was a really cool thing with the because there's a point in the movie where
it
they talk about
humanizes him a little bit.
there's a prototype armor that
A
had
concept armor, not even prototype.
yeah it was a concept armor that had the big kind of the big classic RoboCop look and then
Right down to the helmet.
and they said that it actually worked better in focus
In
groups,
demographics, yeah.
Jesse.
in demographics, which
Come here, Jesse.
as the real life demographics show does actually work better, but because of a real life corporate decision to make him look black, the director clearly said that they said, okay, we're going to include this scene to kind of be a little
finger.
yeah, a little finger to our corporate
But
corporate
Jesse
masters.
likes to wear though, where it's
And even so, the black armor doesn't look bad, but spoiler alert once again. In the end, he does put on the silver suit.
He puts on silver armor, but it doesn't have the same visor. It's got the new visor.
Well, the new visor looks fine.
Yeah, the new visor's fine.
I think the
like
new
it.
visor looks too much like a Cylon.
I'm okay with the visor.
The visor. I think the visor looks
It looks
fine.
I don't
Exactly
understand
like a
why
new
it doesn't
Cylon.
cover his full face though.
Because it's RoboCop. You gotta have the mouth out because that's what RoboCop
So
did.
you can see him snarling at people even though he has no emotion.
It's okay. It's like you don't make. It's kind of like why Batman, even though there's no good reason for the ears, you put the bat ears on
Well, no,
Batman.
see, in Batman Begins, it's established that he has those bat ears because one is a radar and the other is a receiver.
Okay. But why does he not wear a full why doesn't he wear a full mask? Because it's Batman.
So that he can mug for the camera.
Also, he strikes fear.
See, I don't care about the camera. I'm like, it's the logic of it though.
It's RoboCop. He's all you see the human face under everything.
I'm sorry, Jesse's like he's
Jesse's
walking
gonna
around.
set himself on fire.
Jesse's just walking around being
It's
old.
RoboCop. It's hard to not like if you take away I mean they took a lot of deviations from his original look anyways. You've got to maintain something so it's immediately.
Why did he have the lighted ports on his back?
to
toys?
yeah.
Toys. It's a
Especially since nothing hooks up there.
Well, the thing
The
for
receiver.
the dialysis.
No, that was
hooks
in the
up.
back of his head.
what are you talking about?
The lighted ports on the small of his back.
Maybe those were for other. Maybe those are for future imports. Inputs. You know, like a.
Oh,
like
so he's
the-
gonna get the Robo Jetpack again?
Yes, please. Yes, the Robo Jetpack, while being part of the worst RoboCop movie, was still cool.
Leave. Anyway,
What?
now that it's just me and Repair Guy. in
no, the
Make like a tree and leave.
no, the
Make like a
RoboCop,
tree
the
and grow
Robo
roots into the
Jetpack
ground.
is cool. Damn it! If nothing, by rule of cool, it works.
Oh yeah, it's really cool, and I hope there's a scene in the next movie where him and some stupid kid fly around on it.
No, better yet.
I hope there's a scene in the next movie where they talk about a jetpack. The marketing guy looks at that and goes, "This is really cool," but then a scientist says, "No, this is stupid."
Yes,
This is dumb.
yes, that's exactly what should happen. But there should be maybe
That's entirely too self-aware for this film, though.
No, that's exactly this is self-aware. I mean, no. Hold on. The scene where they decide to make him black is obviously being self-aware. It's being self-aware of the fact that it had to be a corporate decision.
That was the only self-aware moment in the film,
no, the entire.
and that was probably because of a huge outcry.
all of Omnicorps. All of Omnicorps was kind of a nod to the fact that a lot of this movie had to be changed because of corporate sponsors, which the director in interviews directly said. It wasn't because fan outcry, it's because of the director said, okay, I'm being I wanted to make a Robocop movie, but I'm being manhandled by my corporate sponsors, so I'm going to make a fun joke I'm going to turn all of Omnicorps into an extended commentary on that. Which is the one big problem with this movie, is that there's too many points to be made and not enough to get it done.
They never make a valid point in pretty much the entire thing. I walked out of that movie feeling like nothing had changed. There was no new information at all. I mean, nothing in that universe changed.
Everything felt like it happened to somebody else, and you said, "Oh, good for them."
No, it wasn't even a good for them. It was okay. This ultimately led to nothing. We're right back at square one.
Right. But to be fair, and yeah, that was a big problem. Is that there was no end game. There's no big end game of what's so dangerous about.
Now, see, there's other movies that have done that, and it worked out fine. But because they weren't telling a grand story like that.
Well, yeah, it's not like it's not Chinatown. It's Chinatown, you know.
But they treated it like it was more.
Well,
RoboCop's going to change the country. He's going to change the face of law enforcement.
That's because I feel that the third act falls apart because of what was the real end game? The real end game was
No, Jesse.
the real end game was they were moving
Jesse, come here, boy.
robots. Why did you pull out the knife?
Yeah.
Come here,
The
Jesse.
end game of the movie is
Who
implied
wants
to
hot
be
dogs?
is implied to be that they're moving robot law enforcement into the city. Okay, why is that a bad thing? We've seen where that thing has flaws in its system, but where is it where it's really bad? It's because we're told it's bad. We're not shown directly why.
We're shown directly why it's bad, because it drags people out of their homes and forces them to volunteer to be scanned. Otherwise, they could be executed.
Okay. Yes,
That's not a little bad. That's
But-
extremely bad.
but there's no urgency in the third act to stop that.
Yeah, it's more about RoboCop's got a personal vendetta against that one guy,
Yeah, right.
even though he's got really no reason to have a personal vendetta
There's a
against
bigger
him.
story that needed to be told in this movie that is teased constantly, but instead it gets caught up in the story of Alex, and it gets caught up in the very singular story of Alex Murphy, and that creates a big problem.
Alex Murphy should have been dead in this movie. RoboCop should have been the focus.
Alex Murphy, yes, he should have died, and they should have. It should have been like the original RoboCop, where he woke up and he was a robot.
Where his wife didn't even know he was alive.
And then he slowly starts
And
getting back.
that would have been
Yeah.
so much better than
Instead
having him start off
because
knowing
what they
everything.
did was, it's like he starts off knowing everything. They pacify him for a few scenes, and then he's back to normal again.
Yeah, it's
Which
not
kinda-
really a big anything.
Yeah.
There was no big fight for humanity. It was just,
was
this
just-
is hard to lift up.
Plus, it never really feels like he's actually lost much of anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
he doesn't have a
he's-
penis, but otherwise he's pretty
lost
well
his,
good.
He lost his dick, okay, but he's aware his family still thinks he's alive. There's still
There was no real loss
they're
there.
supporting him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in the original RoboCop, not only had he lost his dick, he was a freak. He had to eat baby food.
I missed the baby food.
His family thought he was dead, and he had Jesse, no.
Jesse!
I'll go get him. The point is, I didn't care. No, Jesse. He's eating the hot dogs. No,
Can you get me a Sprite,
no,
please?
Okay, so one little nitpick I have about the movie, and it is tiny, and I think Weasel's on the same page on this one.
What's up?
Why the fuck
Mhm.
would the limbs not function during an emotional situation?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, and don't you say because the emotions cause a biochemical influx.
No.
That makes no
No,
sense.
no. Here's what I'm going to say in defense of that.
You can't defend it, it's wrong.
It's wrong. It's wrong. Okay, but is it wrong? It's wrong because the science is wrong. But
It's wrong because it makes no sense.
But the theme,
At all. And it's
No,
you see that he maintains control, even when he's highly emotional.
that's because
He only loses control when they shut him down.
which proves that the human spirit can overcome the machinery. You see, that's the thing.
No, that wasn't their point.
No,
that was bad writing.
No. Hold up.
You're-
No. Stop.
No,
Stop.
you're reading R.L. Stine and seeing Shakespeare.
No. Listen, I'm not seeing Shakespeare. Oh, well, if you want to compare R.L. Stine and Shakespeare, Shakespeare is still a shot. But yeah, I went there. But the point isn't to say the point isn't to be accurate. The point isn't to be right. The point is to say this is what the limitation of the technology is. The limitation,
Except that makes no sense.
because of a fundamental misunderstanding of the human spirit. And what
They
this
couldn't
movie
Google.
shows,
They couldn't Google fucking.
I bet they knew, but that doesn't help them. The movie. The
No,
movie's
we did
about,
not. No, we did not need that scene. Without that scene, nothing would have changed.
Except it implies that. Okay, so Gary Oldman's character is the scientist, and he's working on it, and he's created a system in which emotions can screw with the technology. But Murphy comes along
Okay,
and
now let me
proves
interrupt
him
you.
wrong.
If they had not put that scene in there, would anything about the movie have changed? Would you feel differently walking out of the movie if you hadn't seen that guy play guitar badly because he was happy?
No, it wouldn't have changed anything. But
It was
doesn't.
completely pointless.
But it doesn't. ruin
Also,
the
those
movie.
would be completely useless limbs.
Yeah, what if you had to run away because you were scared?
What if you were running a triathlon and you were winning?
What if you were having sex?
Okay,
Yeah, and then it gets stuck.
Yeah, like you're grabbing her by the hair, you're getting really into it. All of a sudden, your arm malfunctions and you scalp her. You see how that's a bad idea?
I would not want these robotic limbs. This doesn't.
I don't think the idea. I don't think the movie. The movie does not. The scene does not ruin anything for me. It's wrong.
It didn't ruin
it's
anything,
stupid.
but it was stupid,
Yeah, it's stupid. But what else
and
is?
it's scientifically
But
inaccurate.
compared to the other flaws in this movie, it's nowhere near the other problems. And
No,
as
no, and that's an
and
unfair
this-
assessment. There's not really any fatal flaws in this movie other than bad writing.
well, bad writing is a flaw because
In an
there's-
action movie, it's not really a flaw. It's just a way to kind of bring you out.
This is a movie I give a 7 to. It has its flaws, and these flaws are keeping it from being bigger.
I don't think the movie's worth a 7. I don't think it reaches up. I think at most it's a 6.
It's got an 8 or 9 in it if it can do it for a sequel. If it can make it right in a sequel.
A sequel could probably do better, actually.
A sequel, I think, could fix a lot of our concerns if they're willing to fund it as an R.
But I can't condone it. I can't do a 7. The 7 is giving this thing. It's giving it too much. It's reading too much into this, which is essentially a Hollywood cash grab. I mean, that's what this is.
Yeah, unmistakably a cash grab.
I mean, there's
They're cashing in on the recognizable character.
But
of
it's
Robocop.
done.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that it's done with some reverence to its original. Like it doesn't just
in
abandon.
the same way that in DMC they paid homage to the original Devil May Cry games by putting a wig on him for a second.
No, it's more.
No, Jeremy, that scene
This isn't-
that scene showing the
That's
concept
more like
Robocop.
that's more like Total Recall. What you're describing was like Total Recall.
Total Recall is a 4, maybe a 3.
I've never seen Total Recall,
Which one?
the new one.
Okay.
Don't. You don't have to.
That's like the DMC was like the Total Recall remake. I feel this is more of like Bionic Commander rearmed. It tries to.
Just making shit up.
Can you name a movie that we may have seen?
That was a game, but okay.
Can
Can
you
we
name
name it-
something we may have heard of?
Okay.
I'm not gonna put this in the same rank as Into Darkness because Into Darkness did not. This movie did not totally butcher a character like Into Darkness did with Khan.
Right.
I like the new Star Trek.
I liked Into Darkness. I just would have been better off if it wasn't Khan. But this is about RoboCop.
I hate it.
It's not about RoboCop. That's about remakes in general. The only good remake I can think of is Dredd.
I think Dredd does it well because it's not technically a remake. It's just It's just another movie about Dredd, Judge Dredd. Because
exactly, they took that IP and they made it something that it should have been.
Well, okay, hold on. Sylvester Stallone's Dredd is still a Judge Dredd story.
It's a good, fun, bad movie.
Well, it's still a Judge Dredd movie because it still captures a lot of the same themes and feelings of Judge Dredd. Yeah, it's just the kind of the campy, dumb parts of Judge Dredd. And then
Judge Dredd.
Yeah, but then you have the gritty part, the super gritty, like ultra violence of the original of Judge Dredd as well. Which
I wouldn't say super gritty ultra violence.
You need to read more Judge Dredd. Trust me, you need to read more.
I thought we were talking about the movie.
The remake?
No, the original movie.
No. The original.
Stallone, yeah.
The Stallone movie, Stallone Dredd, was campy, fun.
I mean, Rob Schneider survived that movie.
It's his most likable role ever.
Which is sad.
Balance this on your
But
head.
then you have
recycled food.
Yeah.
But then you have alternatively you have
Come here, Jesse.
Dredd, the Carl Urban's Dredd, which is more along the lines of the kind of the gritty, darker Dredd, and but they can exist. They can exist simultaneously and still be good Judge Dredd movies because they.
I gotta disagree. The first one's not a good Judge Dredd movie. It's just a fun Judge Dredd movie.
I think it's a good Judge Dredd movie because the kind of movie it's trying to be. But we're getting off topic.
Isn't that kind of the point of Disjointed Talks?
Yes, but also no. RoboCop feels like the crew, like the people who are at least the director tries his best to at least maintain the spirit of RoboCop. It doesn't just crap on the whole concept of RoboCop. It doesn't try to
say that Detroit didn't feel any different? It did not feel like it had gotten worse than it is now.
Yeah, I didn't really see much of a big crime
In fact, Detroit actually looked pretty clean compared to what we see on the news.
Yeah, there are no abandoned buildings.
Well,
covered in vines and collapsing.
Not everything that's abandoned is covered in vines, especially in a highly urban area where there's no vegetation.
Actually, in Detroit, there are whole areas that are being overgrown with forests.
There's a building in Milton that's covered in vines.
There's a skyscraper that's covered in vines in Detroit.
There's a skyscraper that's covered in mines.
What we're also
mines.
It's covered in mines.
To be fair,
it's covered in mimes.
Oh God. To be fair, Detroit. If you look at, let's take a look back and say, okay, well, OCP has moved. Omnicorp has moved into Detroit. That's their base of operations already. Wouldn't that
Except China's their base of operations.
That was just
their base for R&D. That is pretty much their core of operations. There's R&D.
The corporate location was in Detroit.
As far as that was a corporation.
Well, if you remember, Omnicorp is a part of OCP. So, OCPs may have somewhere, but Omnicorp's headquarters, its corporate building was in Detroit. That much money revenue on a company that has that much technology and that much money behind it, it would definitely bring in something, especially since they knew
that much money revenue,
that much more money to be put into law enforcement, which is an obvious thing they were putting towards. They were putting money into law enforcement.
No, they weren't.
Did you not see the Omnicorp computers and all that crazy shit that they had put money into it? Yeah, that was money put.
What Omnicorp computer are you referring to?
Remember? Okay. So
see, in all of that technology, I saw none of it branded as Omnicorp.
It's very obvious that it was Omnicorp.
Why is it very obvious?
Because who else would it be? Who else? When RoboCop moves in, so does all the tech that came with him.
Yeah, but see, they were not. My point being, they weren't supporting law enforcement before RoboCop got there.
Oh, okay, that's your point.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I was just talking about like.
Well, no. Of course, it'd be Omnicorp. It's proprietary technology.
But yeah,
you'd have to be brain damaged like RoboCop to not understand.
I'm really glad that I've got this thing on. It's getting a little chilly.
Yeah, my ass is freezing.
But no, Still though, yeah, you make a good point there. Detroit needed to look dirtier, scarier.
Hey, the Detroit before Detroit went to shit was scarier.
And I'll say the
What about
Detroit from Robocop in the 1980s was closer to what we have now.
That's because every villain was a sadist or a drug head. Now you had kind of lukewarm
I'm an
concerned
arms
business,
dealer.
lukewarm concerned business like, you know.
yeah, it really helps your case to make the bad guy look like a bad guy when he says, "I don't want to kill a cop.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill a cop."
Oh man,
In the movie that's ultimately about a cop taking revenge on the cop killers, you should have somebody that's not afraid to kill a cop.
Jesse.
I think the biggest problem was
Jesse.
the only villains that we liked dying were the crooked cops.
And they didn't die. He shot him in the shoulder.
Right, he tased them and then he shot one
Yeah,
in
he
the shoulder.
tased them both.
That's right. Well, it said that he killed one though. It did say he killed one.
Did they say he
Yeah,
killed
it
one?
did say he killed. It said he killed the black one.
I'm okay with him killing both of those cops. Because those were the only characters that I even remotely felt were bad guys.
Well, they're the only ones who outright deserved it.
Now, like Maddox, the one who we're supposed to hate,
No, I don't
the
think you're
little
supposed to.
trolley guy.
I don't think you're.
No, I mean it's
It was really weird seeing. It was really weird seeing Rorschach with personality.
the thing is, like, I was with that guy till he got shot in the back of the head.
Well, the thing about him is
He wasn't wrong all the way through. He was
just
a prick.
Yeah, he was an asshole, but he wasn't wrong. He
Wasn't a bad guy. He didn't need to get shot in the head.
He didn't trust Murphy, which and
It's fucking reasonable.
yeah, it is a reasonable. It's reasonable, and maybe see the thing was is if the stakes were higher, if Maddox if he was moving in. If it's shown that he actively abused the power of the robots.
But he doesn't. He does his job well. He protects people.
Yeah, his job.
It's established, like, from the beginning that he was just protecting those people when, yeah, those suicide bombers were making a statement. And I don't feel bad even for the kid that ran out there with a knife when it was clearly ill-advised.
But at the same time, though.
But Maddox, when he died, I'm like, well, fuck, did he really need to die?
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't like Murphy. Like, and honestly, for the reasons he didn't like Murphy, he was justified in that. He was justified. I do feel that maybe, again, the
And
bad
yet,
guys.
I feel like that was supposed to be a moment of vindication for us.
The bad guys had to be
Bad.
and instead of just being told that they're bad. Well, we got Red. What's the guy played by Red Foreman in the first one? What was his name? It's Eric Foreman's dad. He just became a sadist and a drug dealer and had guns. And he was a sadist. He enjoyed killing to no end.
Clarence Boddicker.
Clarence Boddicker. Boddicker loved to kill. That's what he did.
He was good at it, too.
Yeah, he was damn good at it. And the major problem is that. And then the Omnicorps guy that's working with him, he's just as crooked. He's a sadist too, except that he was more about, I'm not going to kill you, I'm going to watch you suffer, though.
I'm going to ruin you.
Yeah, and instead, you don't get any of that catharsis because you don't
care.
Yeah, because none of the bad guys are worth killing for other than reasons of just having them.
You're feeding
die.
him the other hot dogs, right?
Yeah,
Good, not the expensive ones.
they were expensive.
Which one did you get?
Ballpark beef franks.
Mine cost more.
How much did yours cost?
$3.39.
Oh, ours cost $3.99.
Yeah, they were.
Wow, you guys are idiots.
Yes, we are.
Oh my God, a whole $3? Man.
No, I mean the ones that I paid for in Yanceyville, the ballparks there were cheaper.
Either way.
They may have been on
Look at
sale.
the Food Lion. The
Yeah.
same damn price.
You know what? It's hot
They may
dog.
have been on sale.
I think you guys are arguing over the difference between 60 cents. I think you're going to be okay.
My hot dogs are good and they taste good.
Well, so did ours.
Oscar Mayer's better.
Hot dogs. The debate.
A disjointed talk about hot dogs.
3 random facts about hot dogs.
Okay, first... Damn, I got to do that one now?
3 random facts about hot dogs confirmed 2014.
Okay, I'll do it.
3 random facts. The trivia game confirmed 2014.
No.
Yes.
I guess
You should make a trivia game about 3 random facts.
I guess I can make a PDF file just showing how you could do a random, like a card game, like Cards Against Humanity or something.
Confirmed 2014.
Damn it, making me do work. I probably can make that actually. But no, like my biggest problem with RoboCop is that not at any given moment did I want to be RoboCop.
Okay, and it never felt like the stakes were high on RoboCop either.
No, we just knew that they were bad.
He was clearly invincible.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, and that's
He was very clearly invincible. Like,
that's
he
because
gets shot in the fucking where his lungs should be.
Well, the biggest problem
there was
is
an enormous hole in his armor where his fucking right lung should have been.
But no one pulled out a gun that was worth shooting at him with.
Okay, and what about the final scene when we see him get shot and he just shrugs it off
by the super taser gun?
No, at the end when the
Mr. John
when Michael Keaton shoots him in the head.
Right. But
and there's no damage.
I think the bigger problem was when there was a.
Oh, let me tell you a fucking problem. Okay. The stupid red light thing.
Yeah, that didn't really work. That doesn't make much sense.
With the red lights on his visor?
No, the red light watch. You know, everyone with a red light, that's not a target. You can download the entire database of everybody in the universe into his brain. Why not download that you're not supposed to shoot these particular people?
FOFID needs to be quick and simple.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
Just download it into his brain.
Friend or foe ID needs to be quick and simple.
Download it into his brain.
What if it's not somebody that's in the system and you need to protect them?
Yeah.
Then quickly download it into... He's able to download the entire history of Detroit from 2011 onward.
Slapping somebody with a red LED is even easier.
They can't just take a picture and it's like, okay, we have an app that instantly does this.
What? Okay, I understand the complaint about that system. I do. But I can let it go because it's effective FOFID.
Yeah, it's dumb, but it does,
Okay, well, suppose a terrorist guy gets a little red LED and puts it around his wrist.
I'm surprised that never showed up.
See, I was expecting, like, when the guy was reaching in at Robocop, for Robocop to use that one hand and his robot arm to go...
You know what I was thinking, though? You know what I was thinking was going to happen? I was
expecting him to just bum rush him and knock him off the roof.
I was thinking Maddox was arming them. See,
and there it goes. Like, you want Maddox to be a bad guy, but it's never justified.
Yeah, if Maddox was arming Valen, next thing you know, that fight becomes a lot more difficult because all of a sudden Valen's got FOF.
There's so much smoke in the script.
We've unlocked the hidden springs! Boys, jump in!
Pass me the boot, man.
But no, like, next thing you know, everyone's red banded. Oh shit, RoboCop can't shoot them now. That makes an immediate problem for RoboCop to fight. That makes the stakes of the fight much bigger. That makes Valen seem that much more dangerous because Valen's being backed up by Omnicorp.
It would have been really stupid if all RoboCop had to do was not look directly at them. I have a red watch. What was that?
That reminds me.
You know what I would have liked to have seen?
What?
Them using, like, a prototype that's just RoboCop's old gun and going, you know what, this is stupid.
No, because that gun still was really cool.
It looks really cool, but it's not effective.
I want to see.
It's got a small ammo capacity, it's low caliber, and it sounds...
I want to see in the next movie, assuming there's a next movie.
There will be.
I want to see some more RoboCop prototypes.
Oh, like
yeah, that's my favorite scene from RoboCop 2 still.
Yeah, I want to see some guy in a jar, like a head in a jar and a thing, and he just kills people.
No, like just a brain in a jar next.
Yeah, or maybe
they remove the face.
Well, maybe it's even farther than that. Maybe they just maybe they caught a scan of his brain.
Or maybe a skull. You know, the guy who lifts is like, ah!
You know what? I would totally love to see
them do that scene, pay that scene homage.
I'd love them to take that to the next level and have RoboCop have to face off against multiple prototypes of lunatics.
We tried it out on insane people first.
Well, you see, we needed people that were mentally balanced, so naturally we went for psycho killers.
Yeah. They'll pull some
Maybe they pull-
obviously fake bullshit
What if they-
psychology, like, well, psychopaths are really the most sane people.
You've got a big black dot on your cheek,
Where?
It's just.
Ash.
Oh, I thought it was some kind of horrible spider.
No, you've got insta cancer.
Oh no! But no, I think it'd been really cool to see, like, RoboCop facing off against. Maybe remember the guy at the when they were going through candidates. The guy who had the psych proval was really violent.
The guy with the arms.
Yeah, but he just lost his legs. But he was really
He's really unstable.
Yeah, this guy.
He's
This guy who's clearly gotten his life together even after losing his limbs and his lifestyle.
Well, he probably was
is doing well for himself, but he's really unstable.
And then Hammer takes him and he makes.
I want to see them do the fat guy. I want to see them do Fat Cop.
Put him in a giant spider suit.
No, they
It's
just
Mojo.
give him treads.
It's Mojo from fucking Marvel Cop from X-Men.
No, they give him treads.
No, they'll rearrange his head and his stomach and it'll become Crane.
Yes, I want the body. You promised me
I want
a
to see the
body.
musical Robocop.
Robocop.
It's just
Robocop.
it's just an old homeless guy.
No, oboe, not hobo.
Robocop.
Yeah.
It's just Robocop holding an oboe, just playing it
No, he's just
solemnly.
bludgeoning people with an oboe.
So, would you? Wait, what were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
All right. Well, would you recommend to go see the movie?
As a matinee, yes, don't pay full price.
Yeah, I would. I agree with Jeb.
A good Sunday afternoon movie, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd say a Netflix it.
Netflix,
Netflix is
it'll
definitely-
be on Netflix in 3 to 6 months.
Oh God. Oh man. When we went to go see it last night, I wanted a water. I just wanted a water, and I paid $4.
Why didn't you just steal one of the cups that were sitting there?
Why didn't you just?
That's what I was telling Ian to do, was just walk over there while Noah's got him distracted, grab 2 cups and walk away. And take them to the water fountain.
Take him into the bathroom and just fill him up.
Yeah. Or the water fountain that's
If
it.
I had been wearing my trench coat, I could have stuffed 2 whole bottles of water in my coat.
Okay. Why didn't you?
Because
He's retarded.
The trench coat doesn't protect me from the cold as well as the leather jacket does.
That's true.
It was
And it was cold.
Yeah, because of
It's
how
cold now.
because of how unenjoyable a movie.
My ass is cold.
Because of how unenjoyable going to the movies is, I would. Yeah, I while seeing it on the big screen it looks
With
good.
the hammering bass, it works.
It looks good, but
If
unfortunately,
you've got 5.1 surround sound, Netflix it.
but I would not go to a
Don't pay
midnight.
full price.
Yeah, don't pay.
Yeah,
And for the love of God, I think it's in 3D. Don't see it in 3D.
I don't think it would look good in 3D. It doesn't look like a movie.
I can't even pick out moments where they would have 3D'd it.
when he jumps over the wall.
Or when you see like the
HUD pop-ups.
Yeah, I could easily see that in 3D.
That'd be dumb.
Or when the kid does that face, this. Having that
It's coming right at us!
terrified, anxious, horror.
I liked it.
Maybe if they said he had PTSD the whole time. He was born with PTSD and can't feel anything.
He's being chased away from his school, and when he's in the car after running away from all these reporters, he has this horrible, just gut-wrenching face of agony that only a kid can display the kind of face of agony like this. I can't do it. It was like,
You have to wipe all emotion from your existence.
the kid's
You know who they should have did? They should have got the kid to play
the
Robocop.
robot.
He could have done it great. He could have.
He wanted to be just like Dad, so he felt nothing.
Thank you. Your hot dog
My
fell.
hot dog just fell off of that.
Damn.
It disintegrated.
Disintegrated. Yes.
It desecrated.
Desecrated.
Whoa, fuck.
Oh, you okay?
Yep, I'm good. It was a good ankle.
So are we done? Are we done here? Or do you want to keep this party going?
This has been a disjointed talk. It's over now. Bye.